Sierra Leone today is a far cry from the nation it was a few years ago. Battered by conflict and disease, it faced the daunting task to restore its institutions. But in just a few years, it has transitioned to a functioning democracy, and its economy is growing at an impressive rate. I spoke with President Ernest Bai Koroma about his country's progress and challenges ahead. I want to begin with Ebola epidemic. Your country was one of the hardest hit last year. What is the situation like now? Has the disease been fully contained almost?
Well, I can safely say that we are now on top of the situation. We had the outbreak announced in May last year, and by October, November last year, we were registering about 550 new infections per week. Now, last week, we registered only 7 new infections. So this will tell you that a lot of progress has been made. We are not yet out of the woods, but we believe that with the numbers that have substantially dwindled down, we can say that we are getting close to seeing Ebola behind us.
And would you say you have enough medical resources in the ground, and how important is international help with this process?
Yes, I can now say that we have enough medical capacity. That is treatment centers. We have treatment centers with a bed capacity of close to 1,000. We now have laboratories that can test and that are distributed around the country. We have enjoyed a lot of international support. It may have come late, but I think now we can boast of an enhanced capacity because of the support that we have received from our international friends.
It's great to know, Mr. President. And now I want to talk about Sierra Leone's economy. Your economy has been growing at a pretty impressive pace, given that it just came out of its a decade-long civil war not that long ago. To what do you attribute your economic turnaround?
Well, I can say that in the first place, our government was committed to creating the environment that will give space to foreign direct investment to come into the country. We also were committed to ensuring that we go out and market the country, coupled with the fact that we had a huge natural resource potential. It's all of these culminated to our enjoying rapid growth even after we have come out of a very serious war.
You mentioned FDR and the importance of it. China has been a very engaged player in the region. It's one of the biggest investors in your country. What role do you think China plays in Sierra Leone's economic development?
Well, China has been very much involved in the process. They are out there engaged in the agricultural sector, the private sector, the mining sector, and they are engaged in construction, participating in the implementation of government programs. And I think all told, I think they are playing a substantial role in our development.
But it is not, China's presence is not without controversy. If you turn on the TV here in Washington, for example, you'll hear all kinds of talks about so-called neo-colonialism, saying that China is aimed at exploiting local mineral resources, and they're bringing their own workers instead of creating enough local jobs. What's your assessment of these criticisms?
Well, ours is an open economy, and we encourage everybody to participate through established processes. for awards of contracts, especially those of international nature, you have to go through an international bidding. For those that are in the private sector, I think the same processes have been going on. We are open to the person that is considered to be the most appropriate at any given time and for any given sector. So ours, yes, we hear criticisms here and there, but we want to remain transparent. We want to remain open and competitive, and I believe by doing that, the country will earn a lot of benefits by having value for their money, and also you have quality service at the end of the day.
And if you talk to here in America, Washington's global affairs observers, they believe there's a growing competition between the United States, whose president just met, and China in Africa in terms of their investment and their ambition in the region. Do you think Sub-Saharan Africa, Sierra Leone, and your region in general is big enough for both powers?
Well, I think there is, over the period, we have had a lot of companies and investments from the West. But recently, there has been a growing Chinese presence in Africa, and it's seen all over Africa. I think they are getting into the race, and they are doing it in a very quick and fast manner, to the extent of even being considered as competing. And like I said, I believe that no special concessions are given to anybody. For us, it's a question of who best can carry out a program, who best can implement a contract, and how quickly and timely it could be implemented. These are the considerations to engage any contractor.
And the important new initiative across the region in Asia and potentially reaching to Africa is Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, or AIIB. Some countries expressed reservations about it, such as the United States. Well, quite a number of others decided to be its founding members. From your vantage point, how do you look at this organization and potentially what it can do to Africa?
I think the more the merrier in the banking world. We have to have more banks that will create more opportunities, that will give access to more development projects, support. But the focus, especially on those that will come and provide funding for development, that will provide funding for infrastructural development, for the growth in Africa, medium to long-term development programs is something that is welcome, because that is what is now required. And I think that is what the bank is providing, and it will fill in the gap that still exists in spite of the existing financial institutions that are providing support.
You know what, President Koroma? When talking about Sierra Leone, what came to mind for many people is actually the Hollywood movie Blood Diamond. First of all, how do you like the movie? Have you watched it?
I have watched it. In the first place, it was not filmed in Sierra Leone, and I think it followed after a period of war. But we should not be defined by what is contained in that movie. Of course. Wait a
second, Mr. President. If I have to ask you to rate that movie in terms of how realistic a depiction of your country it is, from a 1 to 10 scale, with 1 being the least realistic and 10 being the most, how would you rate it?
4.
4? Well, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than I thought you would rate it.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I've said, we should not be defined by what is depicted in that movie. I know things went wrong over the period in terms of our diamond industry. It became a cost at some point, but we have moved away from that. Sierra Leone is much more organized today. For a country to register a growth rate that is second in the world for a period running to 2-3 years before Ebola. I think it's a remarkable progress. And for those that still think of Sierra Leone that is chaotic in the past, I will say that Sierra Leone is now a democratic country. Sierra Leone has been transforming itself in a remarkable way before Ebola. We have repositioned ourselves, and we are looking forward to becoming not only a country that will be receiving support, but very soon we will start giving support to other nations that are deserving.
Thank you very much, President Koroma. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you with us, truly. That's all the time we have, but the conversation continues online. Join us on CCTV America's Facebook page to comment on this or any show, or chat with us on Twitter at CCTV_America. I'm Guan in Washington, D.C. Thanks so much for watching. Anna Naidu will be back next week.